All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Food for the Soul, Diet of a Yogi. And today I'm just sharing a regular recipe, which is South Indian Uttappam. But I have a special way of how I make it. And some of the viewers have asked me to demonstrate doing some South Indian dishes. So here I am, since I was having Ragi Uttappam and Ragi Idli on the menu for my family. So here we are. We're going to start making a wonderful Ragi Uttappam. And I didn't have time to go set up to go in front of the screen. So I'm behind the scene. But you will all view the nice recipe. So here is my Ragi Uttappam batter. It's the same regular batter recipe which is there in my book of the recipe, which is Dosa Dharma Taco. So to that, I would just, after I blend, if I'm having the ragi millets, the grain, I would soak and blend. And I didn't have the grains. I ran out and I just added the ragi flour to it. And this is the batter. And let's begin the process. To season, my pan is already on and I have unrefined virgin coconut oil. And collard greens, chopped mini, and then we have butternut squash, chopped very fine and small, curry leaves, chopped fine, and I'm also adding some more colors, is purple sweet potato, and adding some sweet red peppers to add some flavor but not make it spicy and too hot. And let's get started. My pan is hot and I will add 1.5 tablespoon of coconut oil. And to this, I will add half a teaspoon of mustard seeds. And I'll wait till they pop and crackle. And I'll just move the mustard seeds all around the pan. And as they begin to make the cracking sound, here I'm going to add some curry leaves. And now I'm going to lower the heat, add a little bit of sweet peppers, butternut squash, and then some sweet potatoes. And I'll just toss them nicely. Let them steam into the seasoning. And just bring them together. And then let them just steam and cook in the seasoning for about 3 to 4 minutes. So there are different ways of making uttappam. Some would like to just pour the make a pre-seasoning and pour into the batter. But this is the way I like to make it, because each uttappam, one uttappam dosa that I make is filled with the fresh seasoning of all the veggies and the mustard which splatters on the pan, and the curry leaves. So now I'm just going to see. It's very important that you chop them fine so that they cook a little faster. And just for the veggies, optional, but I'm going to add like a pinch of salt. It just brings out the flavor. So now once you see that your veggies are nicely cooked, and when I pierce, they break. So now is the time that what you're going to do is, you're going to evenly spread all the veggies all over the pan. Reduce the flame, and I'm going to spread them evenly so that the entire dosa, and I'm not going to make a very big one, so I'm just going to scoot them a little to the center so that I have space to pick up the dosa nicely and flip it. And if you're a beginner to try the recipe, do try making a little smaller version so that your dosa doesn't, your uttapam doesn't break when you are trying to lift it and flip it. So here, and now is the time to add the collard greens. The collard greens are a very rich source of folate, and they are also said to be having some, cholesterol clearing properties. It's good for heart health. So there it is. And once I add collard greens, I just want to steam the greens a little bit before I add the batter on the top. That's it. And here is the uttapam batter. Pouring a generous amount of the batter. I'll go all the sides like this. And I'll try to just spread in such a way that all the veggies are nicely into the batter. Mama, that's my little Papa. That's me, mine. So now I'm going to reduce the heat to medium and then add like about half a teaspoon of oil, very little, and I would still like to go sprinkle a little bit of greens. This is collard greens, not curry leaves. The curry leaves are only in the seasoning. And let's add, these are 2 veggies which can be steamed. So adding little sweet peppers and little collard greens. So now you see the batter is bubbling up. That's a good indication that the batter is nicely fermented. And you're going to leave it and wait on medium flame, not to go on too high because it will burn the uttapam before they are done. So let's wait for about 3 minutes. And I have made a nice chutney, which is coconut, which is half and half coconut and almond. So here is the chutney. So here's the chutney that I made. So it is half and half coconut and almond. And I added little pepper, and I like to add, I use a lot of essential oils. So this is, I used 3 drops of doTERRA lemon oil. So it doesn't give you like sour, like a lemon juice flavor, but it just brings out the flavor of coconut and almond. So that's the chutney. I'm just going to set it on the plate. And let's check with the uttapam. Looks nice. I'm going to let it go on a little high now. There. It should take anywhere between 2 to 3 minutes at least. And I'll show you, I'll take a little closer view of when you can decide that you want to flip it. And I used all the coconut for the chutney, but if you have extra grated coconut, you can also sprinkle on top of the uttappam, and adding a little extra coconut. So South Indian food is mainly about a lot of flavors with coconut. Fluffing up nicely there. So as I'm testing now. I'm not going to lift it up, I'm just testing. So once the uttappam is cooked, the iron pan, they will just tend to leave it. So when I take my spoon underneath, and if I feel that, oh, it's still sticking to the pan, I would not flip it. Now I see I can easily, take my spoon down. So now I'm going to flip it. There, completely moved, and here we go. Flip it. That's your uttappam. You see all the veggies. That's the speciality of uttappam. This is how the uttappam looks. So I'm going to let it steam for another 2 to 3 minutes on the other side. Adding veggies and the seasoning, and I like the butternut squash and the sweet potatoes into the uttappam, and they add a nice crunch and mushiness of the sweet potato, a little sweet, and adding a lot of flavor. And you don't have to use collard greens. You could also use some cilantro or some spinach if you like. I didn't have cilantro, but I had collard greens in my fresh produce list. Sure, let's give you a closer look. Yeah, let's give you a closer look. There you see. And now again, time to test if your dosa is done. When you try to scoot your spoon down, you will be able to lift it. And if the batter is not yet cooked, you will see that the batter is still sticking to the pan. So slightly still sticking. I'm going to wait for another few minutes. And you hear the background noise. My 2 little monkeys jumping on the bed. They're having fun. They're having a blast inside. We just have the dinner and we take them out to the park so that they get the energy out, and they're tired when they come back home and they doze off. So, our family story. Gonna steam it. I like to cook my uttappam on low flame because I feel that it really cooks through. Completely steaming and cooking it inside. Those are some like the non-stick pan, you just go on high, and I feel that it shows to be done before it's actually cooked. I know. So here, and now they should be good to lift. Yes, I'm able to lift up. There, nicely done. And you can see, I'm going to show you the bottom there. No, sorry, bring it down. You see the bottom is nicely done, and I'm going to place it. I like the veggies on the top, so I'm going to place it over here on the banana leaf, and now slightly Now time to, with the iron pan, you must clean it for the next one. So the traditional method is add a little water, take a kitchen washcloth, wipe it. And if you still see few things, again add a little water. That's it. This is done. And now adding another tablespoon of coconut oil. The pan is hot. And then I'll add my like half a teaspoon of mustard seeds. They add great flavor to the uttappam. I'm going to increase the heat. We'll make 2 uttappams. And as you hear the sound of the mustard seed, popping and cracking, it's time to add curry leaves, squash, sweet potato, and then some bell peppers. So you guys have any questions? Please feel free to add into the comment section. If you like the recipe, please hit like and share. It's a very common recipe. I'm just sharing how I make the uttappam. Going to reduce the heat a little bit. Adding an itty-bitty salt. It just brings out the digestive, the juices of the veggies and into the seasoning. This dosa batter, it's very good for children. The black gram is a wonderful grain for the young kids to gain weight and adds a lot of protein into their diet. Yes, because this is the second one and the pan was already heated, so it's taking less time. So this looks nicely caramelized into the coconut oil and the seasoning, and then in goes my collard greens. And now I'm just going to spread them in a circle, in a nice circle to the center, so that when I pour the batter, I don't have veggies in the corner. This is an important task, otherwise you'll have veggies burning on the side. That's it. So now goes naan batter. Don't just pour into the center. Remember, there is veggies, so your batter is not going to go to the sides by itself. You'll have to move your spoon in circular motion so that it covers. Otherwise, you'll have too much in the center and may not be, cook or like taste good, because you'll just have too much batter in the center. Set. And now I'm just going to press a little just to make sure I have the batter even. That's it. And now just another half a teaspoon of coconut oil, and then sprinkle some collard greens. You cannot sprinkle the sweet potato or the butternut squash because they won't cook. They will be raw. But these two would steam and be tender in the process. That's it. And let's put the lid on. There, on medium high, not too high. We'll cook it for about 2 to 3 minutes. Thank you all for joining. Haribol Abhinetri. Who else? Ankush, hello. Welcome to Food for the Soul page. A warm welcome to all those who are watching Food for the Soul. Thank you for joining. I'm just checking. Now I'm going to increase the heat. Halfway done, and then I'm going to increase the heat so that the base turns slightly crispy. Yeah, the uttapam takes a little bit of love and patience and slow process. And I like this recipe instead of just grating the veggies and putting like into the batter, because I feel like this like individually adds all the veggies and flavors of the coconut oil seasoned with mustard and curry leaves. And I'm going to check, I'm going to reduce, and I'm going to check if yeah, look. It's nicely leaving the pan, which is a sign that it is cooked. It's nicely leaving the pan. So let's turn it. Look at that. There. Looks pretty. Another second. Look at the pretty colors. Butternut squash, sweet peppers, collard greens, and nicely steamed uttapam. Close the lid for another 60 seconds or a little extra, and then they are done. Steaming up nicely. Let's open and check. Yes. So when I try to put my flat spoon under, I see that it's the batter is nicely, easily leaving the pan. Is when I know that the entire uttapam batter is nicely cooked. There. So here, I'm going to turn off the heat and bring my plate. So here is the evening. Did I get it to the center? Here is the evening uttapam with butternut squash, sweet potatoes, collard greens, some sweet peppers, and curry leaves and mustard. And the batter is ragi, rice, and black gram soaked. and grind it. The measurements are there in the book, and if you, those who are, pro, it's a very famous recipe. Many people know how to make dosas and idlis. And if you know that, for uttapam, you're just going to keep your batter into thick consistency, and try out this recipe. And if you like it, please share us your comments, and see you all later sometime tomorrow or over the weekend. I'll come up with another recipe. Thank you for joining. Goodbye. Have a wonderful night.